Hi guys, and welcome back to another day. I'm at home this afternoon and I wanted to talk about these things, filters. I get a lot of questions asking me what filters I have, what should I buy, I'm looking at buying this, I'm looking at buying that, can you direct me in the right direction? So I thought I would show you guys what I have and what I use, and hopefully it can shed some light and answer a few questions for you guys out there. So, oh, by the way, I've had a new computer built, so I'm hoping to do some more sit-down videos at home. So if there's something that you're interested in regards to editing or anything like that, just leave a comment below. I'd love to know your thoughts. I've just had the computer built, so maybe I can make a video on the build of the computer as well, because I did film a little bit. So yeah, leave us a comment below, and if that's something of interest to you, just let me know. So filters, Kase filters. This video is not paid for or sponsored in any way, shape or form. It's just me answering some questions. I am a pro partner for Kase Filters and I'm very, very proud to be as well. And I thought I would show you guys my master kit, what I have inside, and what I use it for and how I use them basically, and the benefits and the disadvantages of having filters, or these filters in particular. So I have the Kase Filters master kit. And inside this nice little box, you can get two. You can get a soft box and you can get the hard one, although I'm not sure if they supply the hard one anymore. Maybe, I'm not sure. Anyway, inside you have the holder. Basically this bit goes on the front of your lens, whatever lens you have, and then when you want to use your filters, you get your holder out and you screw it on just like so, and that goes on the front of your lens like that. In here, in the master kit, or in all the kits actually, it comes with the polarizer as well, and the polarizer is magnetic. One of the things that drew me to Kase, even before being associated with them, was this system. The great thing about this system is the polarizer is magnetic, so it literally just clips to the front of your lens like so, and stays in there in the holder, and actually on the ring itself, and you can put a cap on the front of your ring when you take the holder off and use that as a lens cap. And I absolutely love this system because you can spin the little wheel here on the side and it changes the amount of polarization that you want or require. You don't have to fiddle around with a great big polarizer on the front of your filter holder like some other systems. So in the master kit, I have a 10-stop ND, so for smoothing out water for a long period of time. I don't use this a great deal. I probably use it if I'm doing anything, you know, super long exposures in the middle of the day, trying to smooth out water for 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, etc. I don't use it a lot. I actually use the 6-stop ND. Actually, let's put them out here so you don't get confused. I have a 6-stop ND. Now I use this one a lot, so I tend to do quite a few long exposures and around sunrises and sunsets. I would also like to get a 3-stop ND for when the ambient light is still a little bit too dark to use a 6-stop ND. If you used one of these things, you'd be standing around for maybe 3 or 4 minutes, where if you were to use a 3-stop, it would be about a minute, minute and a half. So I would benefit from getting a 3-stop ND, so I might at some point swap this one out and get a 3-stop ND, because I don't really use the 10-stop a great deal. So yeah, 6-stop ND, as I said, always use that filter. And then I have 3 graduated filters. Now, graduated filters help you balance the light and the sky, and help you balance the scene and make it all look pleasing to the eye. So there's no blown out highlights, there's no dark shadows. Yes, with the sensors on the camera these days, you can retrieve data, but it just makes it a little bit easier in post if you can balance the scene up correctly in camera. So I have 3 grads. I have a 3-stop reverse, so this is harder in the middle, or more intense in strength rather in the middle, and then it blends up into nothing, so it's perfect for like sunrises, sunsets where you have bright horizons. I use this filter quite a lot, especially around seascapes and bright skies, obviously. I have a 2-stop hard grad. Again, great for seascapes, great for when you have a hard horizon. I live by the sea, so I use this one a lot as well. And then I also have a 3-stop soft grad, and this is used a lot as well when you have horizons that are not so level. Say if you're up in Scotland and you wanted to pull down a grad for the sky, but you have big pointy mountains, you can pull down a soft grad and it just blends in and it just takes that little bit out of the sky and you don't notice that it's there. Whereas if you were to use a hard grad up in Scotland on the mountains, you would see a definitive line go across your screen. So they are my 3 graduated filters. And some of you are probably wondering, they are glass. They're not resin, they're not a plastic, they are glass filters. They're also very tough. I did just drop that on camera. Yes, it is a carpet, but I did just drop a glass filter on the floor. I have dropped this filter twice. I dropped it once in Iceland and I dropped it at the top of Door. I actually had it in my holder like this on top of my lens, about 7 foot up on my tripod. It slipped out. I was taking it off at the end of the session and I dropped the whole holder like this on the floor. This filter actually landed right on the edge. I don't know if you guys can quite see it, but up on this edge just here, there's a tiny little chip. And the filter is not scratched in any way, shape or form. It is a little bit dirty, it doesn't need a polish, but there's no scratches, there's no marks, there's no nothing, just a tiny little chip up there on the corner. They are toughened glass, so they're strong, so they can withstand a drop or two. They don't say that they're unbreakable because they will break eventually, but they are toughened and they are strong. And I've dropped that one twice on grounds that are hard, stony, has withstood those drops. So benefits to having filters, graduated filters in particular, is that you can balance the sky, you can balance everything in camera and make it look exactly like you can see it with your eye. Pulling a grad down on the sky can really help you focus in on making sure that you haven't blown out any of the blacks and you haven't blown out the sky and there's no highlights peaking. So graduated filters are perfect for balancing your scene. You could shoot a HDR or you could manually shoot maybe 2 stops under to expose for the sky, maybe 1 shot to expose for the rest of the scene, and then slightly over to bring out the shadows, and then blend them all together in Photoshop. And actually that is something I've started to do a lot more of now that I have a Wacom tablet, because I can paint a lot more easily in Photoshop. But if you're not great with the whole Photoshop editing sort of thing, I am still a novice, I'm still learning, but it does help to have a tablet. If you don't have that, then having filters really helps you balance the scene. Some people like using filters, some people don't like using filters. One of the disadvantages, I guess, to carrying all of these filters is carrying all these filters. This case is not exactly small. It's the size of my hand, probably the size of my head actually. It's quite big, it's chunky, it's hard, so it protects it, so that's a good thing. Probably the biggest disadvantage to carrying a master kit or any filters like this sort of size is they are heavy. They are glass at the end of the day. They're in this heavy case. Although they are supplied with a soft case now, which would bring the weight down, but they are heavy. And that's probably the only disadvantage I can think of when it comes to using case filters, or these filters, or any filters actually in general. The greatest thing I think about case filters is you get 0 color cast, or next to 0 color cast. And for those of you that don't know what color cast is where you would use a filter, say a 10-stop ND filter, and you would blur out the sea and make it all milky and smooth. Once you press your shutter button and it's taken the photo, afterwards you'd look on the back of your screen with some other filters and you think, why is it a weird bluey tinge? And then you'd pop a graduated filter on the sky and you'd notice, and you'd take your shot and you'd notice afterwards that there's a strange kind of purpley or brown hue. And this can differ with other sort of filters, the different filters on the market. You get strange colors left behind on the image from filters. Now case filters have next to 0 color cast. You can have a 10-stop ND to slow your shutter speed down and have beautiful water, and then you can have 1 or 2 grads up on the sky and you will get no color cast. You will get it exactly as you can see it with your eye. As long as you balance the scene up properly and it's perfectly exposed, you will get 0 color cast or next to 0 color cast. That was another thing that drew me to case filters straight away, because there are several brands on the market that have horrible color casts, and some of them are very easy to correct in post. Some of them, however, are not very easy to correct in post, and when you know what you're looking for, you can actually see where someone has used a specific filter and what filters they've even used actually, and what brand they've used. Because of the color cast in the image, now case have 0 color cast or next to 0 color cast. So that was another thing that drew me to case filters. They're strong, they're neutral in color. There's a great variety of filters that you can buy. There's a couple of different kits for people with different budgets. So this is the master kit. They've also got the high-end kit and the entry kit. So if it's something that you're thinking about getting into, but you're thinking they're quite expensive, I don't quite know if I can afford to do it yet, you can go in at the entry kit and then in a couple of months time get yourself another filter and then get yourself another filter and work your way up to what you need. And that's what I try to say to my workshop clients is don't go all in and necessarily necessarily buy the master kit unless you know that you want it, or you know exactly what you're after and know what filters that you want. If it's something new to you, go in and buy the entry kit, get yourself a 6-stop ND and a graduated filter and a polarizer and the holder, and that all comes in a kit. And then go out and then use your filters, and then think, what would I benefit from next? I'm going to the Lake District, I need a soft grad, or maybe I should buy a soft grad next month when I get paid, and just slowly build up your filter kit until you find something that you're happy with. But yeah, another disadvantage is that they are quite expensive, unfortunately. There's loads of different reasons why they are expensive, but they are this price because they're the best on the market, in my opinion. So if it is something that you guys are interested in, I hope this has answered a few questions for people out there. I've tried to be as honest as I can in this kind of little review of my filters and what I use. It's very hard to come across completely honest when I am associated with Kase Filters, but I've been as honest as I can. I do use the filters for a reason. I am associated with them, yes, but I do use them for a reason, because they are the best on the market, in my opinion. So a bit of a shameless plug as well. I will leave a link down below, and it's an affiliated link. If you do click on it and you head over to the Kase Filters website and you do buy yourself anything, I will earn a small commission on your purchase as well. And of course, do message me on Instagram, Facebook, or leave a comment just down below if you do have any questions about filters, or you're not quite sure what to buy, or you've got a filter kit already and you want to transition over to Kase Filters and you've been thinking about it for a while and you're not quite sure which ones to get, just pop me a message and I will do my best to help you guys out. So I hope you guys have liked this one. I will hopefully do a bit of a video on my new PC if that's of interest to some of you guys out there. So I hope this has answered a few questions for you guys out there on Kase Filters or filters in general. Leave us a like, give us a comment, and if you haven't subscribed to my channel already, please do consider clicking subscribe below. Yeah, I will see you guys in the next one.